You probably had a blueprint for your life. By a certain age, you assumed you would be married, established in a solid career, financially secure, or simply living at peace. But instead, you find yourself standing in an entirely different reality. Psychologists call this specific pain the expectation gap, the agonizing space between where you originally plotted your course and where you actually are today. Living in this space is emotionally exhausting. You feel stuck in an indefinite waiting period, watching peers effortlessly hit their milestones while you remain frozen in place. When we face this, our immediate instinct is to blame ourselves. We treat these slammed doors and continuous detours as a failure of our own planning, or worse, as a sign of divine rejection. Consider the possibility that this detour isn't a mistake in your timeline. This unplanned reality might actually be the specific path designed to transform you. When we are hurting and see others receive blessings we've been praying for, the human heart is tempted to gaze longingly at their path. Over 1,400 years ago, Allah revealed a specific command in Surah Taha to dismantle this illusion. He states, "And do not extend your eyes toward that by which we have given enjoyment to groups of them, the flower of worldly life by which we test them." The glitter of someone else's timeline is not a measure of divine favor. It is their unique, specific test. The verse continues, "But the provision of your Lord is better and more enduring." This provision, your rizq, is a separate, guaranteed allocation. It is determined entirely by the sustainer himself, and it is completely unaffected by how fast someone else is moving. This means that comparing your timeline to someone else's is a mathematically and spiritually flawed metric. You are looking at their trial and mistakenly measuring it as proof of their success. To understand why this waiting room causes us such profound pain, we have to look to the 13th century scholar Ibn Ata'illah al-Iskandari, who diagnosed the exact source of this anxiety. He identified a trap we all fall into. It begins with the frantic, agonizing expenditure of our emotional energy. We stress obsessively over outcomes that Allah has already guaranteed, like our future provisions, our careers, and our marriages. Because we are pouring all our energy into controlling the uncontrollable, it causes severe negligence in the areas where we actually have agency, the things Allah demands of us today, like our worship, our character, and our devotion. Ibn Ata'illah taught that this specific imbalance, striving for the guaranteed while neglecting the demanded, leads to the blurring of what Islamic psychology calls basira, your inner spiritual insight. Taking practical steps toward a goal is entirely necessary. But crossing the line into toxic obsession destroys your present peace. Disappointment drains us because we spend our finite spiritual energy trying to micromanage the outcomes that belong to Allah alone. The Prophet Muhammad taught that spiritual relief and victory are intrinsically tied to patience through hardship. Relief doesn't just follow affliction, it comes with it. This brings us to a difficult question. Why does Allah repeatedly close a door that you are desperately, sincerely praying for? To answer this, we have to understand one of the divine names, Al-Fatah, the Supreme Opener. Al-Fatah protects the believer by closing doors that would have led to spiritual ruin or heartbreak if opened prematurely. He shuts off that external path to forcefully redirect you inward. This detour is designed to rebuild your maturity and refine your soul. Think of a closed door as its own form of opening. It ends a harmful trajectory and rebuilds the heart's capacity to receive a gift far greater than what was first asked for. So your waiting period is not empty time. In Islamic psychology, waiting with patience, sabr, is not passive endurance. It is an active, highly elevated form of worship. To step out of the trap of the unplanned life, you have to move from grief into action. First, surrender your rigid timeline. When anxiety surfaces, you must verbally and internally yield your personal plans to the best of planners. Second, shift your focus. Pivot your emotional energy away from worrying about guaranteed outcomes and redirect it toward what He demands of you today. Perfect your daily prayers, increase your remembrance of Him, and guard your character. Third, call upon Al-Fatah daily. Ask Him to open your heart to contentment with His decree before you ever ask Him to open the external doors of provision. Every quiet hour of this grueling period of refinement is intimately seen by Him. Not a single moment of your detour is wasted time. Trust the timing of the one who created time itself. Let go of your original blueprint and watch how he opens doors you didn't even know existed.